Hello everyone, this is Dr. Srija and I have secured All India rank 20 in Civil Services Examination 2020, and in this talk I would like to speak about the timeline which I followed and also the answer writing, and also would share a few answer writing tips and also the value additions which I have made for mains, and at last would end the talk with the optional preparation. So firstly, when it comes to the first topic, that is the timeline, I have started it from 2019, that is from April, and then I set the timeline till June for the next year prelims. So the timeline which I made for myself, or I think was optimum, was that firstly to go about with optional. Since optional carries huge weightage of about 500 marks in mains examination, I think first getting ready with optional is very important. If you have not selected one, I think the first step towards preparation will be first selecting the optional, and optional selection should be based on your choice, based on the interest basically, and that would be the first priority, and other things will come in a line later. So after selecting the optional, getting ready with the optional either by going for coaching or trying and testing with YouTube videos will help. And once along with optional, I think we can even finish off ethics, because ethics is one subject which is not common for prelims and mains, and generally aspirants don't follow it. And we shouldn't forget that ethics is one huge paper. It is almost worth of 250 marks of any GS paper. So it's important that we even finish ethics first. So what I did was I started preparing notes for optional and ethics in the earlier months of my preparation, along with some major subjects. So first optional and ethics, then start with the main subjects, core subjects, that is economics and polity. Why economics and polity first would be, firstly we start reading newspaper as in when we start our preparation.
तो बुक सोर्सेस करंट अफेयर्स में मैं सिविल्स डेली के बारे में बता रही थी। बहुत ही रिच क्वालिटी का कंटेंट आपको मिलता है। अच्छी बात यह है कि अगर आप ऐसे कोई भी टॉपिक है, सपोज इंडो अफगान, उसमें आपको साल भर की जितनी न्यूज़ है वो एक के बाद एक इम्पॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ आपको मिल जाएगी, तो आप वहाँ से एक साल का करंट अफेयर्स हर टॉपिक वाइज रिवाइज कर सकते हैं। आप सिविल्स डेली को ज़रूर एक्सप्लोर करेगा।
I have known about the initiative by Anudeep Dhurishetty sir. He followed the Samachar Manthan of Civils Daily.
Right.
So that was the reason, sir, that I've taken the prelims test series and mains test series also.
सेकेंड बार तो जब मैंने मेंस दिया तो आपके थ्रू डायरेक्ट मैंने आंसर राइटिंग में काफी हेल्प मिला। तो जिस चीज का मैं कह रहा था सर, द आर्ट ऑफ आंसर राइटिंग, यू हैव टू डिस्प्ले दोस क्वालिटीज व्हिच इज रिक्वायर्ड एज अ सिविल सर्वेंट। तो वो जो आंसर राइटिंग में आपने चीजें बताई थी कि कैसे कैसे इसको पॉइंटेड लिखो, सबटाइटल्स डालो, तो सिविल्स डेली ने काफी हेल्प करा।
So when we start reading economics and polity, it will help us to understand the issues which we are reading in everyday newspaper. So that would be suggestible, I think, economics, then polity, and I think next would be history and geography. Geography, in this way we'll finish the main subjects, and then we can go to the minor subjects also, like international relations, environment, and internal security and all. And regarding tests, the timeline which I followed was from October or November. If prelims is in June, at least after finishing the major subjects, I think we can go with the prelims test, and the prelims test, I think we can give one in every 10 days, so that we'll just get a knack of how UPSC asks any question, and we can even modify the notes which we are making. Then I think before 4 months, mid-Feb, it's time to start prelims preparation holistically by writing at least one prelims test once in 3 to 4 days, and then analyzing what has to be added and what has to be left out without studying. So that was the thing I followed, and the 1 month before actual prelims was the buffer month which I kept for myself, where I just revised the test. I was writing the current affair questions which was posted by Insights, like monthly compilation of quiz questions of current affairs. I was writing and I was just checking. This was what I was doing for prelims then. And regarding mains, I have not written any mains tests before prelims, but I think it is suggestible that we can start with answer writing. We can start with answer writing once we have finished at least 50% of the syllabus, and after finishing that, I think writing 3 to 5 questions once in 3 to 4 days with a set time limit is advisable. And it's a huge difference writing a 3 hours question paper and also writing this 3 to 4 questions. So just use these 3 to 4 questions to get the ways or to explore different ways of answering the mains answers. So this would be the timeline. This was the timeline which I have followed between prelims and mains also. And between prelims and mains, I also have written many mains tests. Even essay tests, I have written some 15 to 20 days, 5 before prelims, and the rest I have written between prelims and mains, because we were having a COVID extension, so we could cover more essays in meantime. So between prelims and mains, it's very important that we keep writing tests, keep testing ourselves, so that we get stick on to the time limit. And just before 1 month of mains also, I made it a point that I'll write a few mocks, where GS1 I'll write in the morning and afternoon GS2. In this way I was exactly following the pattern of exam, so that practically I would not be in a situation where my time limit crosses the actual requirement. So in this way I could finish off all the questions in mains also. So the next topic which I would speak regarding answer writing, I think a few tips which have helped me were firstly, give equal importance for both 10 mark and 15 mark answers, because 10 mark answers would be the first thing which the person who corrects your paper would be seeing. So first impression is the best impression, remember that, and give good content for 10 mark questions also. And time limit is a big constraint in mains answer writing, because 3 hours and 20 questions is quite impossible at times. So what I followed was, I consciously made an effort that at least I would write for 3 to 4 questions in 10 mark answers with, I filled them with flowcharts or some diagrams or amoeboid diagrams or half circles, so that I can decrease the content which I have to write, but the person who corrects gets a nag that yes, she knows the things and she has represented it well. It also makes your paper unique from the other papers. So this was what I was doing for 10 mark answers. Made consciously this effort that at least 3 to 4 questions I'll use this kind of some techniques like using amoeboid diagrams or rays or some flow charts. And then in 15 mark answer, wherever possible, I was drawing the flow charts, I was making that amoeboid diagrams or half circles in order to occupy the space, but at the same time enrich it with the content. And second important thing I have understood is, it will never be possible that you will get more marks you write some content which is not asked for. So make it a point that you address the content and address the content only. They are not going to give any extra marks for some content which they are not asking. In that way also you can use the time beneficially. And the third thing is, there are other two types of questions. One would be answer which you have no idea about, and the other answer where you have little idea about. So the answer which you have no idea about is better to be left, and the answer which you have little idea about, I think you can write the content which you know, but better to use flowcharts and diagrams then. So this would be few mains answer writing tips which I would like to share with you. Then the next thing would be regarding value addition for different GS subjects. Now regarding value addition for GS1, it's important that you start drawing many maps. If possible, draw India maps, and also give certain personal opinions in the answers regarding related to society. And also I think the big picture debates which I watched during my preparation from Rajya Sabha TV also helped to add some personal touch to the question, because just think, the examiner will be collecting number of papers and he'll be bored with the content which is though relatable, is to the point, but unless until he doesn't find that uniqueness in your question, he doesn't feel to give that extra half mark. So try to make it a point that wherever it is possible, like society or international relations or internal security, giving your own touch or giving some points which are unique to your answers only. So that was what I was doing for GS1, trying to make maps as many as possible, though at the final examination I could draw only one map because of time constraint. So it's alright if you don't, but try to give a chance to it. Then GS2, I think value addition is possible with second ARC. I read second ERC very selectively. For example, e-governance and RTI and disaster management were the only few PDFs which I read for second ERC, and writing as many schemes as possible. And along with that, again, your subjective interpretation of what any kind of word in polity means also will give a good touch to your will give a good essence to your answer in GS2. And for GS3, I think economic survey is a very good value addition. So volume 1 and volume 2, it's important that you read. I read volume 2 completely, and volume 1 only a few chapters which are very important. And I've done this after watching videos, that 3 to 4 videos which come in YouTube for free, either Rao's Academy and or Learning Space Digital. So I watched them. After watching them, I've read it so that I can decrease the time and use the PDFs efficiently. And then schemes and policies will also give good add-on to GS3 paper. And GS4, as you all know, you can. This is a place where you can play around. So write whatever your personal experiences would have been, any kind of examples which you have come across during your journey of not just UPSC but also education or anything. So do anything and everything in ethics, and I think innovation is something which is very, very important in ethics paper. And also one thing which I have understood is, while writing case studies, keep it a point that you will have at least 2 to 3 ways of answering the same different case studies. Don't just make it monotonous that the case studies are going to flow in this way after correcting some 2 to 3 questions. So try to make some 2 to 3 models how you are addressing the case studies. And in ethics, theory questions are as important as case studies, so try to make it a point to address them as required. So this is what I can say for in regards to value addition. And most important value addition for any paper would be current affairs. So make a very good use of current affairs, like using certain quotes which you get in your editorials, or certain case studies which you come across, maybe your district administration is doing, or any kind of organization is doing. So all these things will help you in increasing the value addition in your answers and your preparation also. So this is what value addition, this was what the value addition I made. And for essay, I think everything and anything can help in essay. So value addition which I made for essay was, since I was very much into movies, and also I used to write my personal experiences also, and I was also good at writing anecdotes. This was my strength which I found out. So I used to make some stories, I used to introduce 2 characters, or I used to write about some movie in the introduction, and then I used to interpret what that sentence exactly means to me. So in this way, I used to make a start in essay. And remember, and what I said to myself while preparing to essays, it's important that your introduction should be very, very strong, because that will give overview of how your essay is going to be. So it's very important for you to focus on your introduction and also conclusion. So while making that blueprint of essay, I have literally written down the introduction and conclusion, then made that blueprint. At last would be the current affairs strategy. Since current affairs is very important, I think it is something we should do each and every day of UPSC preparation. So I followed only The Hindu till interview stage. In interview, I have added it with Live Mint. It was only during interview I have added with Live Mint. You can go with any newspaper in during the preparation of UPSC. Generally people read Indian Express or The Hindu. So I just stick to The Hindu because the language was much simpler and I could understand it well then. And so the trick which I explored during the preparation of current affairs was, I used to save this newspaper for the next day, and before reading the newspaper of the previous day, I used to finish off going through the Insights current affairs of that day, which used to come the day after for the day before. So after reading the Insights current affairs of say 3rd, I used to read the newspaper of 3rd then, so which used to come on 4th. So after reading Insights current affairs, I used to read newspaper again, and this used to be revision for twice. And then I used to even watch the regional news which used to come at 9 p.m. and this was reading for thrice. And then monthly I used to read Vision IS monthly magazine for newspaper for current affairs. This was how I was doing current affairs revision for 4 times each month. So I was not having an issue of consciously remembering what current affairs are going, or understanding, or trying to incorporate the current affairs which are required for any answer. They used to spontaneously be into my answers, and this was all which I was doing for current affairs. And I also made it a point that as and when I read the Vision IAS monthly, I start segregating them based on the GS topics. For example, for GS 1, 2, 3, 4, I kept some 4 books, and I have sorted them out into different topics. Like my index used to have the topics which used to come in Vision IAS monthly, and then I used to write the 2 to 3 most important points which was given in that topic of Vision IAS monthly. In this way, I used to sort out the current affairs, and it was easy for me to revise also. Instead of reading that 12 Vision IAS monthly, it was easy to read the 3 to 4 books which was subject wise segregated and easy to understand and revise also. So this was what I was doing for current affairs. And yeah, at the end I can just say you this thing that UPSC is hard. Don't take it too personal upon you. It's important that you go on in an easy way also, and don't be too idealistic, and be very, very practical. Always try to keep that plan B. It's okay to work and study also. All the limitations are very subjective, and it's important for you to stay with your preparation and be self accountable for whatever dream you have made for yourself. Let people say anything, but you should remember what you want and have to work for what you want. And this is what I could say after finishing UPSC. UPSC happens to you. It is something which just happens to you at a brief of second. Nothing changes. You don't change as a person to the people around, but people start changing around you. This is what happens after results also. But it's some journey which any person would like to go about, because the transformation which UPSC brings in you, trying to make you a confident person, making you a person who knows the world and how to interpret the things around, is something which enriches probably the way you wanted to live for yourself. So firstly, congratulations for taking up this journey, and be confident, be very optimistic. It's okay to fail, but say to yourself you are going to be more self accountable, and just go with the flow. And also remember that things are very transient. It's important for you to live your life joyfully also. So maintain that quiet balance in both studying and also enjoying the other things, but in a limit, till you achieve your dream. So this is all I could say, and thanks VKT for giving me this opportunity, for sharing a few tips and few strategies which I wanted to share with the aspirants. Thank you.